Hello and welcome back to my loft, where we're going to take a look at the HSL in Adobe Premiere Pro. Now you might be thinking to yourself, what the f is HSL Secondary? Have I been saying that right? It's one of the drop down menus in Lumetri Color. You probably know about Lumetri Color because that's how you apply LUTs when you're color grading. If we take a quick look at the drop down menus, you've got the basic correction, creative, curves, color wheels, HSL Secondary and Vignette. Now, some of these you use all the time. HSL Secondary is something that people probably don't talk about very often, but it is the one that I use every edit. Every single time I am using this. Now, what does it do? So it's something that picks out a selective color and you can either make it pop or you can bring it down. And we've got a few examples. That's my cat. What? Let's just ignore her for a second. Oh, what do you want? Are you trying to edit too? So in this particular shot, it is framed so that you can see the jumpers on the shelves. Now, if I take my color correction off, there you go, that's it. It was shot in log, so it's a flat profile. And I've done some basic corrections, like not a lot, but there's some there, and I've also applied a LUT to this. Now if I go into the HSL Secondary and I'll turn that on and off, and then we'll see if we can see the difference. So if I just take it off, now what you can see is the frame, the wood and a bit of the background, it's really orange and yellow, which is not the look that I was going for, but the lights inside the shot were all that sort of yellow strip lighting, and it all sort of just made it look a bit yellow. Regardless of what I did with my white balance, that is what it did. So my aim was to take down that colour. So we'll go into HSL. So there's a few ways you can pick, well, there's two ways you can do this. Some little circles here that you can just choose. So we know that it's going to be in the yellow range, so we could just click that. Or up here in this section, there is set colour with a little eyedrop thing, whatever you call that. So if I use that one and just click where the wood is, you can see here it started to select things out. So this is hue, that's saturation, and that's like light to dark. If we click show mask and then zoom back out, you can see what that's doing. So it's picking up some of the wood, some of this jumper, which isn't great, but we'll try to deal with that. And it's not picking up anything else, none of the walls. So what it's showing you is everything that's greyed out you're not affecting, and everything else you are affecting. And you can change these by changing some of these, the H, the S and the L. So this top one, H, is the colour, so it's picking out that range of orangey yellow red section, and if you move that around you'll see it's picking up other colours in that range. But we're just interested in this, so if we move it here we can see that we're starting to remove the jumper. Now this one, you can just sort of tweak this, that looks pretty good. The top triangle will make the selection wider, so if you want to select more of the reds you can open that up a bit and you can see it's selecting more. Move it slightly over, and the bottom one is like a feather, so if you want to slightly feather it into the others, that you can open and close the bottom triangle. Now the next one you can do the same again, you can expand that, see what that looks like, and you can feather that, and we want to move a bit more into the darker end of this and open that up a little bit. And then there's also a couple more down here, is denoise, so that just picks out a bit of the detail, and blur kind of gives it more of well, it blurs it but gives it a bit of a feathered edge, and it's not always the best to use this one. I've never used it personally. And then below that is all the corrections. So if we just switch off the mask, come down here, and you can do something. If you go to the color wheel, you could just change the color of that. So if you bring it into the red, you can see it's affecting that, but that doesn't look great. Double click that to reset it. So what I was doing is just coming down to this bottom one, and I'm just turning the saturation down on it. Now I don't want to do it too much because you don't want it to be grey, and you might want to change the temperature and bring that a bit closer into the blues, and you can see how quickly you've got from a big popping bit of orange on the wood to a sort of more subtle look. That's what you do, that's what it's there for. So another example is on my last video that I just did, which I'll link at the end and in the description. I filmed this up against a yellow wall downstairs in the spare room. Got a yellow wall, looks great to film against, but the only thing is once I take off my colour correction, you can see with the lighting it's gone a little pale and it's gone a little greeny, you could say. So the first instance of Lumetri is just my normal colour correction, and I think in this one the HSL is just doing a little bit to my face. Yeah, it's very, very subtle, but if I show the mask, I'm just affecting my face because I'm looking a little grey. So I've just put my mask, found where my face is, and I've just upped the saturation just to give myself a little bit more colour. Now the second instance of HSL is to make the background pop that yellow. So all I've done is if I show you the mask, it's only affecting the background, and all I did was use the yellow circle to pick that, and then I've just changed all these H, the S and the L, and then I just absolutely cranked the saturation up to get it to look more yellow, to actually what it looks like when you're in the room to the eye. So it's little, it's subtle. There's always something that I see in a clip that I might be like, might be this purple on here, and it might not be popping, or it might be too bright, it might be distracting, and I'm like, I'm going to take that down. Or my hat might be too orange, and I might be like, boom, I want it pink. But I've never done that, so I just want it back to normal. But there you go, HSL. It's pretty fucking good. You should be using it. Let's discuss it in the comments. If I rambled through this too quickly and you didn't get anything from it, then just tell me and I'll explain stuff a little better. And if there is anything else that you want me to show you what to do or how I use it, leave that in the comments, and maybe the next video will be that. So thank you very much. If you want to hit like, it's up to you. If you want to subscribe, then hit the subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.